don't know what you would refer to it, but it's probably the best news I have for you ever. I love this slide. Maybe it's the one I love the most. Um, so the element is daydreaming, and the reason we must daydream is very simple. It's because brain scientists discovered that we have a frontal lobe located here in the forehead, and that's the part in our brain that is responsible to all of our creativity, imagination, personal growth, professional growth, ideas, insights, all the things that make progress, that prepare our future, lie in the area of the frontal lobe. And this area kicks into optimal performance, meaning it's 100% wired in MRI scans, only on one condition. Only if we daydream does this frontal lobe kick into optimal performance, which is an amazing, amazing, gift that we were just given, because it means that if we want to be on our best potential and our best versions of ourselves, then we must allow our frontal lobe to kick into optimal performance as much as we can, meaning we have to make time for more daydreaming minutes in our life. And daydreaming is fun. All you have to do is not look at anything specific, most certainly not in a screen, right? We're not daydreaming in front of the computer. You can have a look at you can just stare and gaze at a wall or in a window, anything that doesn't move, and just allow your brain to process information. And when it processes information without any distractions, then it is able to provide us with those insights and ideas and imaginations and all those elements we want to enjoy. And what happened is that up until 2009, up until the revolution of the information era, we all had daydreaming moments, even if we never intended to have, because when we were waiting in line to go onto the bus or wait for a friend at a restaurant, we had nothing to do with our hands. We had nothing. We were just sitting there, just staring and gazing out at the audience. Or, if you sit in a restaurant and you just look at people think you're crazy. But before 2009, there was no other option. You would just, daydream naturally without any specific intention to do so. But after 2009, we completely lost those moments of natural daydreaming. And now we have to create those moments artificially in order to gain control and enjoy the benefits that we have as humans. So this is a great lesson to understand that we need to artificially create daydreaming moments in our lives, meaning like the picture here in the slide, if you're going to the beach, you can consider that as a work day, saying to your boss, I'm just going to process information and get ideas. I'm going to the beach. It's actual work. It is actual work. So here's your homework, okay? Write down now 3 opportunities throughout your day that you want to try in those 3 opportunities to not automatically go for your phone and start, getting lost in some social feed. But in those 3 opportunities, you want to put the phone away and daydream for 5 minutes. So let's say you want to try doing that when you're in the car. Maybe you were in the stoplight, right? Because we're in the stoplight, we still go into some social feed when we're waiting for the light to turn, because, that's how it is. We're hooked. So let's say you want to try on that opportunity of just standing in traffic or waiting for the light, to not grab the phone and daydream in that minute or 2. So write that down. When I'm standing in traffic, it could be when I'm waiting for a friend. any kind of a coffee break, right? You go out for coffee, you take a break. In those 5 minutes of coffee, you won't want to necessarily immediately grab your phone and get lost in Twitter or Facebook. You want to try to, for 5 minutes, to daydream instead. So just write those three opportunities right down in your notebook. And what I then want you to do is when you get into that opportunity, let's say you're in a coffee break, put the timer on. Use your phone, but not for scrolling in some social feed. Use it to put on a timer and set the time for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever break you have. That way, you can completely get lost in that daydreaming element without fearing that you might be late for the next meeting you have coming up. So the timer will enable you to be 100% present in this activity. Okay, now you see the whole picture, how we're bringing monotasking, we're bringing mindfulness into the daydreaming. Okay, and wait for it now. It gets even better because now we can be 100% present because we've put the timer on. We're not worried of getting lost in time. Now you want to make sure your capturing tool is with you. It might be your phone, right? It might be what I have. I have a little hack that I showed you where it turns notes into emails. So I just have that app open, that note open. So that means my capturing tool is ready. So I will be using my phone, but just not for scrolling and getting lost in a social feed. So now we have 5 or 10 minutes of daydreaming. And then I want you in those 5 minutes to and any concrete idea, okay, any concrete idea that you want to capture, immediately write it down in your capturing tool. Don't try to hang on to it. Don't try to remember it, because if you're trying to remember something, it means you're operating the memory part of your brain. That means you're already not optimally daydreaming, because now the frontal lobe is not 100% in optimal performance because the memory part's just kicked in. So anything that comes in your mind that you don't want to forget, a to-do, I need to call this, I need to do that, an idea you just got, oh, wait a minute, I can do this before I do that, and then I'll get a different result. All these concrete ideas that you have during those daydreaming moments, you want to capture immediately and not hang into them. Now, if anything isn't concrete, then don't write anything down. I don't want you to just journal your thoughts. This is not journaling. This is just a time where we're allowing our brain to process excessive amount of information that we're all exposed to in our everyday lives. So you want to just allow your brain to process information. And if it has an insight, you're just going to drop it into your capturing tool and you will take care of it later. We will see how. At this time and place, I just want you to practice that notion. Now, I don't want you to mix between daydreaming and meditation. Meditation is all about quietening your mind without any having thoughts, just concentrating on your breath. This is not meditation, okay? I don't want you to stop thinking. On the contrary, I want you to allow your brain to free flow with thinking to whatever direction it wants. And as I said, it's also not journaling. It's not just writing down everything that comes into mind. It's just allowing yourself to rest. And if there is a concrete thing that you want to hang into, capture it. And after the time ended, after 10 minutes, the timer will go off and you can then go back to work. And anything you captured there, you will then execute later. Now, if you practice this daydreaming drill once or twice or 3 times a day, but start with once, okay? Let's not jump into 3. Start with once a day. Find that opportunity, put the timer on if needed, make sure your capturing tool is open, and practice this exercise. After you've had it into your system at the once a day basis, then maybe after 1 or 2 weeks, you can then add the second opportunity during the day to daydream, and then perhaps even a third. But most certainly start with 1. Don't jump into 3. Now, what you may see as a result is that when you go to sleep, you sleep better or you fall asleep faster. A lot of people in today's chaotic information era suffer from sleep issues. Why? The reason is because we're all day exposed to massive amounts of information, and our minds, they don't have the opportunity to process information. So the minute we put our head on the pillow, that's the mind's opportunity to start processing information. That's the frontal lobe kicking into optimal performance now, because there's nothing distracting it, and it's just that's the brain's opportunity to process, and then the brain keeps us up for another hour and a half. And then we can't sleep. We can't fall asleep fast enough, and we get frustrated, and we toss and turn, and there goes our quiet sleep. And sleep is super important. So after you practice this daydreaming drill for once or twice or 3 times a day, you should see a huge improvement in how fast and how deep your sleep gets, because your mind has already processed information several times during the day, and now it's ready to concentrate on relaxing and cleaning our body while we're sleeping, and making our immune system stronger. So as I said, it's this notion. I'm just giving you this gift of saying to your supervisor, I'm just looking out the window, and he would say, like, why aren't you working? And you can say, well, I'm the only one working here. I'm the only one giving, 100% of my brain's capability for this workplace. I'm the only one doing actual work, because I'm the only one staring out the window and putting my frontal lobe into optimal performance. So I'm just giving you this gift of daydreaming and the scientific proof, and the fact that it makes us more productive. And it's just a great circle of science being on our side and helping us go through this